Okay, agentic prompting. Agentic prompting means you are not writing prompts, you are not setting up the goals. Goals are predefined. In a month one, you have said by 15th we have to achieve so and so. So they are agentic prompts. So agents are set, the prompts are set, they work on their own. That's called autonomous. That's what we are talking about, autonomous cars. So with that, I am stopping the session and good to take the questions. So the objective is, how can we bring AI in front of the millions of users? What we have seen is a completely theory. As we go into the more sessions, I will actually help you out in building the LLMs itself. You can actually build the LLMs along with us. You can write the wrappers along with us. I'll show them once again. When we started the session, I have showed that. I'll show them once again. So this is where we have started. Let me take up a new route now. I want to build LLM for banking and financial services. How many tokens we should push into DB? Okay, and response should not exceed 20 words, right? So many times we see, okay, so let me share the screen back. I am actually doing a screen share. Check, can you see my screen? Okay, so on a Google Meet, people are able to see the screen, but okay, the people in the session also are able to see the screen. So what we are trying to do, we are back to prompts, okay, and we have seen structured prompts, unstructured prompts, domain prompts. Okay, now I am talking about banking and financial services. In banking, RBI declares the rules. Can you build a rule engine? Can you build a rule engine based on the RBI P2P lending framework? Okay, response in 10 bullet points. See how I am working with it. So now I am expecting a response in bullet points so that I can actually target. So it is saying collect and digitize RBI guidelines, define rule templates, create rule repository, design rule engine core, API driven checks, dynamic rule updates. So after this I said, look, you are my CTO. You should be able to pull the data and build the code and go live. Can you do it? So I'll use that Telugu Sameta, Adigamde Ammaina Petadantaru, ChatGPT kuda ante. You ask what exactly you want, it will give you. So now I said, you are the CTO, can you do that? Yes, data collection, structuring, now it is talking, I can do it. Okay, so can you pull the white paper for RBI guidelines for P2P latest? That means I should know what to ask. Okay, so it is saying the full white paper is so and so location. So as a CTO, your role is take the white paper, understand terms and build the code I am giving the rule book here. So actually I am feeding the P2P guidelines. So this is what we are trying to achieve. White paper to white label platform. RBI says we are launching a new product called bold loans. Like a gold loans, there is something called bold loans. Anybody gives GAN, they will get a loan. For example, they have launched a white paper. So the white paper talks about the rules. If I give that rules to my CTO, he will actually build the code, he will actually deploy the code, and he can give the live URLs. Okay. So let me see. What are your thoughts? So it is actually going through the PDF, okay, which is having the P2P guidelines. So we all know the P2P guidelines because most of our team members are Oxyloans investors, lenders and all. So it is saying the core understanding is so and so, lender exposure less than 50 lakhs, borrower aggregate less than 10 lakhs, okay, perfect. Can you build the mock UI? How many screens you want to build? So there are situations in 3 days I was able to build end-to-end platforms, but you should also have an engineer who can deploy those code and then get the things done moving. But now there are new agents from the ChatGPT. You give the code, it will actually deploy in the ChatGPT server. You don't need even AWS. You will wonder tomorrow if I say ChatGPT will kill the AWS, that may also happen because I am generating the code on ChatGPT and deploying the code on AWS. Now what if the ChatGPT itself is giving a server? Why should I go to AWS? So landscape is changing rapidly. Landscape is changing rapidly, and even the following is also finding it tough. So do you want me to generate a React based dashboard? Yes. So a thought, an idea, you explain the idea, you generate the mockups, you generate the code, and then say push into the ChatGPT cloud, give me the URL, the job is over, right? So most of you know Google sites, right? You can launch a Google site in a minute, right? So similarly, now you can launch a production commercial platform in hours. Right? The complete code has come. So now all that you have is you should have a person to run them and then push it into the GitHub. So even GitHub is not required. If once see the tools here, I have a tools called Deep Research, Create Image, Web Search and Canvas. ChatGPT is adding agents. It will add an agent called push the code into the server. Then it will actually goes into the server and I will get a production level URL link. Can you create image for the mockup? So we looked at why prompt engineering is important because tools keep changing. The prompt, structured prompt, unstructured prompt, chain of thoughts prompt, zero shot prompt, few shots prompt. So how we learned writing if else condition, how we learned the for loop, how we learned the while loop, how we learned the databases normalization. Now we have to learn the prompts to do all those things. Okay, so the image is getting generated. If you want to ask any questions, you can ask. Morning we have also seen how the video got generated for the Mission Million AI coders with a simple prompt. So while the image is getting generated, I want to tell you, this is Genoxy, our own AI platform, GenAI platform, built on ChatGPT wrapper using the APIs. These are my API keys. This is how we have built the Genoxy. We have taken some time. Now we are training it on the banking and financial services, especially for the loans, because we are in a peer-to-peer lending loans. Along with the peer-to-peer lending loans, we also want to give the other loans now. So all that is going to be taken care by our Genoxy. So this is technically very confidential. No developer wants to show this, because by showing this, I am making your life easy. You can also start building it tomorrow. So the image is still under creation. You have seen all those images I have created using ChatGPT itself. So does that mean the designer job is taken over? Definitely, if there are 4 designers in the office, you really don't need 4 designers now. You need only one, but who is good enough to play around with the images. So here we have seen so this is the header and the router. It's in React. Okay. Now we are going to see the mockup for this code. So that's the mockup. That's the dashboard, right? So think of, in just a year back, visualizing all these things was taking months. There was no visualization capacity to the people. Now with a one prompt I am able to visualize, and if I sit a full day, completely visualization completes, and then I can go live. Okay, there will be limitations in going live because it has to be production level. Couple of testing rounds has to happen. Now even your agents can do the testing. You don't need manual test engineers. Okay, so with that I want to open for the questions, and I also want all of you to talk about the AI, join our Mission Million coders. If more people are joining, I want to do this every day, and I want to start giving the assignments. They will work on the LLMs, they will work on the GenAI, they will work on our banking and financial services. So we are looking at creating jobs LLM, loans LLM, CTO LLM, Codex LLM, which means you think of a plumber. Our agent cannot do the plumbing work, but our agent can tell you who is a good plumber, and our agent can tell you what are the good tools for a plumber and where do you get at a cheaper cost. So every human work, every human role, we are converting into the LLMs. It's not necessary to be LLM. It's not necessary to be a large language model. We can do a small language model also with 2 to 10 millions of tokens. So we have last 6 minutes. If anybody wants to ask any questions who are on Google Meet can ask and live, and then we can take up the questions in the classroom one-on-one. So if you have no questions, we can end up the Google Meet. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Any questions for the people on Google Meet? That's it. Thank you. You can drop the questions to the WhatsApp groups that we have created, and you can actually go on to askoxy.ai and then you can write to us. Thank you all. So thank you all for the people on live across the Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta and Twitter, and thank you all over here. So thank you for all joining. Mission Million Coders is a long way to go. At the end of the day, we want to see how these learnings can convert you into our Oxyloans lender or Oxyloans borrower, because Oxyloans is our core business. Whatever the channels we create, We want to build references for the Oxy loans. That's our RBI approved peer-to-peer lending platform. Thank you, Radhakrishna, CEO and founder, AskOxy.ai and Oxy Loans.